I'm so happy to be here and to be moving together. Let's start on our backs with something under your head. Have your strap nearby. And then from your back, once you come down onto your back, just get your head comfortable. Check in if the ribs still feel like they're thrusting up a little bit. Even if you feel the entire back of your rib cage on the floor, your ribs could still be thrusting. So you could dig in a little bit and see, oh, can I feel the bony edges of my ribs? And can I get them softened to down into the flesh so that you don't feel them? But then at the same time, when the ribs drop down, can you untuck your pelvis into neutral? So keep that natural curve right behind your waist and the front of the pelvis flat. And if you find that those ribs just keep on lifting up, you might want to put something a little bit higher under your head, or you could even put a blanket under your shoulder blades with something a little bit higher underneath your head. But you really want to get into a place that you feel supported, that you don't have to hold your ribs down. And then you'll see a lot of improvement when it comes to the alignment and the function of your upper body. That being said, let's just extend our left leg long as we draw our right knee in any amount, checking on our waist and the back of our left thigh to see that our pelvis is in neutral. Taking a couple breaths here. And then switch sides. And take a couple breaths here, tuning into your body, feeling your pelvis tilt into neutral, ribs relax down. And then it does get even more detailed over time, but really one thing at a time. So if you find that your ribs are up and you need to stack your shoulders or head a little higher, start there, work there for many months. But your ribs could also be thrusting more on one side. So they could be lifting up a little bit more on the left side or a little bit more on the right side. So then after you practice just your ribs relax down for a while, you can start to notice, oh, is there a twist going on as well? Which often, a lot of the time, comes from different habits in our lives, like driving. I have a slight twist where my left ribs push a little bit more forward than my right, and I know it comes from driving. Okay, let's keep your left knee in and draw your right knee in to meet it. Think pelvis going one way as thigh bones come in towards you. Think waist lifting up as ribs soften down and back. Taking a few breaths here. Relax, clenching around the buttocks, around the tops of the thighs. And then let's turn this into a squat on our back. So lifting your ankles up, open your thighs a little bit, flex your ankles, rotate your lower legs so your feet point more straight ahead. And then just see, without the tailbone coming up, can the thighs come in a little bit closer? And then try to somewhat relax around the thighs where they meet the pelvis, and tuning into your breath. And then bring your legs together, put your feet down for just a moment, scoot your hips a big hop over to the left, and then do a 2-knee spinal roll over to the right. Stacking your knees, stacking your ankles, not trying to keep your shoulder down. Let your shoulders and your ribs lift up. And then take your arm behind you, and instead of letting it drop behind you, line it up in line with the front of your chest, and then just sweep your arm with your palm facing the ceiling up and down by your sides in the shape of a semicircle. Great time to take a couple breaths, giving a little bit more emphasis to your exhale. All right, and then pause, push down through your right elbow, lift your left leg first, let your spine roll back, bring your hips back to center, scoot your hips a big hop to the right as you do a 2-knee roll over to the left, stacking your knees, stacking your feet, armpit about in line with the back of your hips. Instead of letting your arm drop below your chest, bring your arm up so it's in line with your chest, so it doesn't matter what height that is. That might be all the way up to open a little bit. And then with your palm facing the ceiling, just move your arm in that semicircle. Check in with your ribs here. Do they push forward? Relax your ribs down and back. And I hope that over time you just feel how wonderful it feels to just move the body more in unique ways, to get into all these different muscle and connective tissue areas that we don't get into a lot of times in our daily lives. And even if we have something we do regularly, like running or riding a bike, we often don't get into all these little areas. And this is just so helpful for everything that we do. And it should feel better and better in your body over time. All right, from there, push down through your left elbow, lift your right leg first, unwind onto your back, grab your strap. We're going to do a little bit of a variation on what we did last week because it just felt so good to get deeper into the hip muscles. So wrap the strap around the ball of your right foot, extend your left leg long, tilt your pelvis into neutral, ribs relax down, pull back on the ball of the foot, start with your ankle right over your top ASIS bone, and then from here, doesn't matter how high you lift the leg, focus more on the alignment of your pelvis. You're just going to slowly rotate your thigh bone from external to internal. Whereas last week we held, you're just going to slow but continuously rotate. And keep stretching up through that thigh bone. As you rotate, the thigh will want to pull on the knee and take it into a tiny micro bend. So keep stretching long through the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the back of the thigh as you rotate. All right, and then pause and take that leg out to the right a little bit. Your right elbow can rest down and hold there. The left side of your body stays relaxed on the mat, and rotate your thigh bone here. Keep lengthening through the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the back of the thigh. Rotate as far as you can in one direction without force, and then as far as you can in the other direction without force, without any aggression. If you get a lot of clicking or popping in your hip, take your leg a little bit farther away from your shoulder. That might be helpful. And then pull your thigh bone up and take your leg across your body, keeping your right hip down, extending long, and rotations here. And for me, this is the smallest rotation when my leg is going across my body, but for you that might be the case when it's out to your side. Just take your time and rotate from the top of the thigh bone. Ankle stays pretty steady in neutral, and it's just going along for the ride. All right, so before we go to the next leg, let's take a short break. Scoot your hips a big hop over to the right. Lift that right leg up into a 90-degree angle, the one we just worked on, and roll over. And then you can either put your foot on the floor or you can just hang out in the air, but you are not concerned about your ribs in this one. We're doing a spinal roll more so than a spinal twist. So it's okay if the ribs lift up. And then from here, you're gonna either just stay here, you can stack a block under your leg, or you can put your foot down, or you're going to go from an extended right leg to a bent knee. So 90 degrees. And extend, reach long, and bend. Extend, reach long, and bend. Extend, reach long, and bend. And then push down through that left elbow to unwind. Bring your hips back to center, and let's go to the other foot. So strap wraps around the ball of the left foot, extend the right leg long, tilt the pelvis into neutral, ribs tilt down and back into neutral, line up your ankle with your outer left ASIS bone. Doesn't matter how high the leg goes, pay more attention to a neutral pelvis, and then over time it will come up in a little bit more at a time. And rotate your thigh bone here. Being aware of what your ankle wants to do, steady through the ankle. Being aware of how the rotations will pull the knee into a little bit of a bend and trying to straighten a little bit more. All right, open that leg out to the left a little bit. Your elbow can rest down. The right shoulder and right body stays relaxed on the floor. And rotate your thigh bone. And you'll start to notice what it is for you. Does your ankle want to come and twist a funky way? Does your knee always really want to bend? And so you'll start noticing what to pay attention to. Does the right side of your body really want to lift up off the floor? Then don't open your legs so far out to the left. And it can change over time, and you can get good at something and then have to come back and pay attention to it again. So success is not a straight line when it comes to our bodies. And that's okay. I find that that makes movement more fun and interesting and challenging when we have to keep coming back to things. All right, pull that leg up, take it across the body to the right without the left hip coming up. Lengthen long, and rotations here from the thigh bone. And of course, if you tend to be someone that pushes, then lighten up on yourself as far as the rotations go. But if you're someone who always goes small, try to turn a little bit more, get a little bit more rotation. All right, pull that leg up, release the strap, give your hands a break, stretch out through your fingers a little bit, scoot your hips a big hop to the left, and then roll on over to the right. And you're not trying to keep your shoulders or your ribs down. You can let your foot rest on the floor. You can even do the extension and the bends with your foot on the floor, or you can hover your leg in the air, either one. You can just stay with a bent knee or extend, reach long, and bend, 90-degree angle. Extend, reach long, and bend. Extend, and bend. Extend, and bend. And then go ahead and roll back onto your back. Come on back onto your back. Here's where, if you only have one block, you could use a thick block or a thin block. You're going to stick it under your hips, maybe put a pillow or a towel under your head, and then put it right underneath your sacrum. There's this bony shelf right at the bottom of your spine and the top of your buttocks. You want to set it right on that shelf, or your hips right on the block, that shelf right on the block. And then we'll start with the right leg, and you'll extend the right leg long in line with your ASIS bone, and just let your leg relax and straighten as much as possible. And then we'll take our arms into the air and turn our palms to face behind us. And we're going to do 3 heights. So we're going to do a high height where we kind of reach out high and bring our pinky fingers together. We're going to do a middle height. And then we're going to do a lower height where our hands go out more, low chest height. Let's just stick with high height. So arms a little bit overhead, Pinky thumbs touch down wide, pinky fingers come together. Breathing. And make sure your toes are pointing straight up and down because we're going to change the rotation of the leg. Okay, next time your pinky fingers come together, now externally rotate your thigh bone. Turn your thigh bone out, relax clenching in the buttocks, come to the middle height of the arms, and open and close. Relax clenching around the hip, around the thigh. All right, pinky fingers come together. Internally rotate that thigh bone, and it might not be much. Just try to feel like you're turning it in and straightening and relaxing that leg. And then low height, open low chest height, thumbs tap down, pinky fingers come together. And for this one in particular, you might have to keep internally rotating your thigh bone actively but gently. All right, let's switch legs. Bend the right knee, extend the left leg, start with toes pointing straight up in the air. Relax around the buttocks and the hip muscles. Go back to high with the arms. Reach out through your upper back and chest muscles as you open and close. Even though your hips are lifted up like this, your ribs are still relaxing into the body as much as possible. All right, next time your pinky fingers come together, rotate your thigh bone externally, knees and toes turn out. Relax any clenching, mid-height with the arms, open and close. And then internally rotate that thigh bone. Knees and toes feel like they're turning in. Try to keep straightening the leg and arms low. All right, relax your arms, unwind that leg, bend your knee, lift your hips up, slide out whatever you had underneath your hips. And now you're most likely not going to want something that you're not going to want something under your head here. We're going to do some rolling, and we haven't done this in a while. So you're going to extend your arms and your legs long. And we're going to do 3 different versions. So the first one is you're just going to try to lead with your left arm. You're going to pull over with your upper body and roll maybe all the way over onto your belly. And I didn't think of how this is going to work with my mic on, so I'm not going to roll all the way, but try to roll all the way over on your belly. And then use that same arm to pull yourself up and roll back. And actually on the other side, I'll be able to go closer. So then now let's lift up your right arm and use it to pull across and try to feel like you're dragging the rest of your body over and roll all the way onto your belly. And then pull that right arm up and roll back onto your back, keeping your legs as close together as they'll stay. Now let's do the same thing with the leg. So lift your left leg up and use it as leverage to pull across and turn and keep on going, maybe all the way to your belly. And then pull that leg up and pull it back and roll back onto your back. Same thing with the right leg. Lift it up, reach across the body, use it to pull yourself over, maybe rolling all the way onto your belly. And then use that leg, lift it up. It's a little harder from the side actually to start. Pull that leg up and roll back onto your back. So now, last hardest version is bring your hands together, bring your feet together, and try to roll over using your arms and legs as little as possible using your core. And again, keep on going. Go all the way to your belly if that's possible. And then do the same thing. Try to roll back with your hands and your feet as close together as possible. And then you go in the other direction. Ankles and wrists together. Try to roll over using the center of your core. And just notice how much, oh yeah, I really did have to use my legs, or I did have to use my arms. Maybe rolling over to your belly. And then keeping your wrist and ankles as close together as you can. Roll back onto your back. All right, so that's one to practice, and I did practice actually right before class, so I got my full rotations where I rolled all the way onto my belly. But go ahead and bring your arms down, bend your knees. If this is not comfortable for your spine, then skip it, but you can hold your legs in, and there's two different ways to rock. One is you kind of use the momentum of your lower legs. That's a good starting point. So you can kick to rock up and roll back, just between your shoulder blades and rolling up and back. And then over time, less momentum, can you keep your legs in closer to you as you roll back and up? So a little bit less kick of the legs and more use of the core, keeping your legs in closer. Roll to your shoulder blades and back up. Roll to your shoulder blades and back up. How about a couple more times rolling on the spine? All right, next time you're up, place your feet in front of you. Try to sit up as tall as possible in your pelvis, and then take your right arm up and over into a side bend. And I didn't mention at the beginning of class, but you'll want a wall space or a chair towards the end of class. So when we get up, if you have something nearby, you can grab it. And then switch. Right hand comes down, left arm goes up and over. Breathing here, keep trying to tilt your pelvis up right more. All right, bring your hand down. So this is a familiar one. We often turn our fingers to point towards our hips, back your hands up, place them down, bend your elbows any amount, hug them in. If you would like more, you can walk your hands back further, bend your elbows, hug them in. Try to keep your feet grounded, your knees and ankles hip distance apart. Take a breath or two here. And now let's change this, and please go slow with this. So turn your fingers in slightly towards each other. So essentially you're putting your arm bones in internal rotation. Bend there. So your elbows are going a little bit more out to the side. Pressing equally through the palms of the hands, breathing. And you always want to go slow when you introduce something new to your body, because there could be tension that you're not aware of, and you don't want to aggressively pull on tension. The body doesn't like that. All right, press up, and now we're going to go in the opposite direction, which is sometimes the tightest. So again, go slow at this. Turn your hands out to the sides and bend your elbows, and your elbows will naturally come in a little closer as you lean back. Press equally through the palms of the hands. You can always walk your hands back further if you'd like to. Tuning into your breath. All right, and then push up off your hands. Rotate your pelvis back upright as much as you can. Think pelvis upright, ribs relax down. Turn your belly button to the right. Notice here, as you turn from the waist, do your thighs and hips tend to want to go? So a lot of times when we don't have motion in the waist, we move at the hips instead. So try to keep your legs and your hips steady and just turn as much as your body allows you to. And then rotate in the other direction, turning from the waist and breathing. All right, and then unwind your waist back to center, scoot your feet around back behind you, and then you are going to stretch the bottom of your feet. So you're either going to do that with your toes tucked under, standing up on your knees, or you're going to sit back on your heels, but try to steady your heels so you feel more of your toes, so your heels are pointing straight up and down. And whether you're standing up on your knees, stretching the bottom of your feet, or sitting back on your heels, we're going to stretch our neck a little bit. So you will turn and look over your right shoulder, hold for a moment there, just turning the neck. And then from this neck turn, drop your right ear behind your right shoulder, or your left ear, excuse me. So if you're turning to the right, it's your left ear going behind your left shoulder. Wait, maybe not. Either way, it's your ear going behind your shoulder. Sorry, I'm not thinking about this in detail. And then drop your head towards the floor slightly in front of you and go back and forth. It's one of those two. So you're turned to the right and you're just kind of nodding your head side to side. And when you take your ear back behind your shoulder, you get into some of these more side back neck muscles. And then slowly bring your head up, turn and look over your left shoulder. Hold, check on those feet. Are you rolling your ankles to one side? Breathing. And start to nod your head side to side. And really focus on the ear going back behind the shoulder, feeling along the side of the neck. Bring your head up, turn it back to center. If your feet need a break, then just stand up on your knees, drop your right ear over to your right shoulder. And then with our right ear towards our right shoulder, we're going to nod no. So it's like you're kind of turning and looking up and turning and looking down and feeling all of this movement all along your neck muscles, into your jaw, into your shoulder area. Good. Check on your feet. Are your ankles rolling to one side or the other? Can you get your toes tucked under a little bit more? And then from there, left ear to left shoulder. And nod your head no. Letting your breath flow. And if you get a lot of cracking and popping, check those ribs. They tend to want to creep forward and creep up. So ribs go down and back, even though pelvis is upright. Bring your head up, come on up to your knees. Step your right foot forward into a low lunge, ankles hip distance apart, pubic bone forward. You can work bottom of the foot or top of the foot. Interlace your right pinky finger on the bottom. Press away, gently spread those thumbs away from each other back towards you. And slowly take your arms up without your ribs lifting up. Doesn't matter how high they go. Get ground through your feet. Side bend over to the right. Press up through those palms. Come back through center. Bring your hands down low, chest tight. Then twist from your belly to the right. Breathing here. Feel the waist turn. Bring those pinky fingers closer if they came apart. Spread those thumbs if they came apart. And unwind, and then you're going to bring your hands either down to the floor inside your right foot, or if you find that your spine tends to round a little bit, your pelvis tends to round, bringing your hands up higher to a block is very helpful, and rotating your elbow pits forward, tuck your back toes under, lift that leg, and then we're just going to tap our knees slowly down to the floor. And then remember, the more tucked under we can get our toes, which is why stretching our feet is so important, the more power we'll have through that leg. And tap down and press up. Notice as you press up, do your hips tend to tip to one side? Try to turn your hips so they're square to the floor. Let's do one more like that. Tap down and lift up. Not only tap down slow, but lift up slow too. So go on down really slowly, bring your torso up and switch legs. Step your left foot forward, ankles hip distance apart. Interlace your left pinky finger on the bottom, lead with the pubic bone, press away low, spread your thumbs. Slowly go up with your arms without lifting your ribs. Watch those fingers coming apart. Then you've hit a place of tension. Stay there. Breathe into it. Be happy that you're finding these pockets of tension. Side bend over to the left. Tuning into your breath right into the side of your rib cage. Bring your torso back up. Bring your hands down low, chest tight. Twist your belly to the left. Feel the turn of the waist as you press away and open through the palms of the hands. All right, bring your hands back down to the floor or a block. Either way, you're working on that neutral arm bone rotation and then tucking your back toes under and pressing long through that back leg. And slowly tap down, rolling off the foot, and slowly press back, reaching through that leg. Slowly tap down and press back and tap down and press back. And then from here, you're going to tap down, bring your torso upright, front ankle under the knee, push down to step up. Put your block in front of you for your calf stretch. Outer edge of the right foot very straight. Step your left foot forward any amount. We're going to do a full head roll here. So once you find your calf stretch with straight legs, drop your chin down to your chest and go really slow, because you're not just trying to feel end range of motion, you're trying to feel everything in between. Roll your chin over to the right. Keep on going until your head is facing all the way forward. Maybe even lean it back a little bit. And then slowly go down and across the center of your chest. Take your time. See if you can feel that transition when you start hitting the other side of your neck muscles. And go nice and slow. And ear goes all the way over to the shoulder. And then slowly bring your head down and back to the center of your chest. And don't worry, you'll get a chance to do another one on the other side. Bring your head up. Okay, so often we do our foot turned out a little, our foot turned in a little. So, we pigeon toe a little, we turn out a little. I'd like you to try to pigeon toe and turn out as much as you can. And sometimes you can't have the block in front of you if you're turning your foot as much as you can. So take the block or the rolled up towel or the dome, whatever you're using, and put it out to the side so you can turn your foot out all the way, but still turn your hips to face forward. The ball of the foot up, maybe your outside foot steps forward, but then re-rotate your hips to face straight ahead. And then from here, let's bring our arms in front of us and inhale, open. And bring our pinky fingers together. And open and together. Reach out without the ribs pushing forward. And together. And reach out. And together. And then let your arms come down. So let's do the same thing with internal rotation. So if you can really internally rotate a lot, maybe not this much yet, then you are probably going to want to turn the block crooked so that you can turn and put the ball of your foot on, but then you do have to turn your hips back to square. This might be plenty, or you can step that outside foot forward. It's a little much when I step my outside foot forward, so I'm going to keep my outside foot back and keep stretching my leg long in internal rotation. Staying here, hips square, circle your arms up and down, and circle up and down. Two more like that. Circle up, two straight legs, and down, and circle up, and down. Okay, step off of there, put the ball of your left foot up, outer edges of feet straight, block straight ahead like normal. You can step that right foot to any place that feels like a nice calf stretch for you. Drop your chin down to the center of the chest. This time, pay attention with your ribs down. Rotate your elbow pits forward. Your thumbs might be forward, or it's okay if your hands turn forward with your chin dropping down. Let's go to the left first this time. Slowly roll over. Take your time, because your tension might be right in the middle or a little bit next to the chest or just before you get your shoulder to your ear. And then slowly roll back down. And watch when you get to the center of your chest, feel when it changes and you start to feel the other side of the neck. And then take your time and keep going until your ear's all the way over your shoulder. Maybe you even lean your head back a little bit. And then work your way back down to the center of the chest. and lift your head up. Okay, external rotation. So if you're new to this, probably just turn your toes out and start there. But if you can turn your toes out more, put the block at an angle so you can really turn your toes out, square your hips, maybe your outside foot steps forward, but then you've really got to turn your hips to face forward and bring your hands together, relax clenching in your buttocks and your thigh muscles, and open and bring it in. Open, bring it in. Reach out through the upper back and chest, and together, reach out through the upper back and chest, and together. All right, let's take that foot off and let's go deep internal rotation. And at first, the internal thigh might not rotate very much. So just put your block in front of you and turn it in a little, but over time, maybe turn a little bit more. And not that you don't want to do the small rotations still. We'll still do those all the time. We're just going bigger today. Maybe the outside foot steps forward. On this side, my leg feels okay with it. So straightening your leg all the way and circle your arms up, hips face straight ahead and down, and circle up and down. Reach down through the inner and outer thigh. Circle up and down, and circle up and down. All right, and then step off of there. All right, from the top of the mat, we're going to do some dynamic chair poses with feet straight, ankles hip distance. Bring the backs of your hands together. Touch as much as you can down to your wrists. See if your thumbs maybe come together. If not, don't force. Notice if your fingers, so I have a tension pattern where my fingers always go to the side. So you're trying to bring your fingers straight up and down if that's your tension pattern. And then just drop your wrist down any amount, and we're going to hold as we sit back into a chair squat and press up. And you can always, once you've got the alignment of your knees, the alignment of your thighs, you can always squat down a little lower, and then oftentimes you'll have to recheck in because the knees might start to go forward or the thighs might start to collapse in. Breathing here. All right, and then from there, release your hands down, fold over your legs, relax the head down, keep your right foot forward and step your left leg way back. Softly low, actually before we lower that knee down, let's keep it up. If you want to block under your hands, work with a block. If you're working on your fingertips, that's not something we want to do all the time, but it's okay. Either way, rotate your elbow pits forward. And then from here, you're keeping that back leg lifted. If the hips tend to twist, try to square them. Keep bending your right knee. And we're just going to lift our right arm long, tap down, steady through the hips. Lift your left arm long, tap down. Right arm reaches, rotate the thumb to point up, tap down. Left arm reaches, rotate the thumb to point up, tap down. Right arm reaches, palm faces up, tap down. Left arm reaches, palm faces up, tap down. And then lower that knee down. Stand up on your knees. Bring your right hand forward, hand to your shoulder, ribs down, elbow up. So we're going to do 3 different rotations. You're going to have your elbow out to the side a little, straight ahead, and in towards your face. And if it's straight ahead is a little bit off, that's okay. So with that right hand to your shoulder, open your elbow out to the side and gently pull your elbow back there. Think of your ribs dropping down and your head sliding back. Breathing here. Okay, rotate that elbow in a little bit more and pull back. Check on that back ankle. Is it right behind your knee? Are you using the whole top or bottom of your foot? And curl that elbow in a little more and pull back. Ribs dropping down, head sliding back. All right, let's do the other arm. So elbow out to the side, pull back gently. And you can be here in the front. You can wrap your arm around your head, ribs drop down, head slides back. Curl that elbow in a little bit, pull back. Curl it in a little bit more and pull back. And it's kind of like you're stretching your skin up and back. All right, and then release. Bring your hands down to the block or the floor. Lift your back knee, stretch it long, and walk halfway around to the left. and parallel your feet. Back your weight up into your heels, push down through the backs of your legs, and try to come up really slowly. So start to notice when your pelvis starts to rotate, feel the back of the legs working. Let's bring your hands behind your back, fist to fist, but it's going to be tempting to pull your elbows back. I'd actually like you to let your elbows drop forward with your hands fist to fist behind your back and your legs nice and wide. And then we're going to do different, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but we're just going to forward fold to different places. So just rotate forward a little. Let those elbows drop forward. Think weight back in the heels, ground through the fronts of the feet. Maybe work on neutral rotation of the thigh bone. Tilt the pelvis a little more, back the hips up. Let those elbows drop forward. Try to keep the fists as close as they'll come. And rotate a little bit more, backing the hips up, breathing here. Elbows dropping forward, maybe rotate a little bit more, backing the hips up. Maybe neutral rotation of the thigh bones, elbows dropping forward, breathing here. And let's come up just as slowly. So come up just a little bit, rotating from the pelvis. Come up just a little bit more, elbows going forward. Come up just a little bit more, not all the way quite yet. And then come all the way up. Circle your arms out and up, and then circle them as you take it nice and slow all the way down. Walk back around to your right foot at the front of the mat. Put your left knee down. Slide your right knee to meet your left knee. Spread your thumbs towards each other. Have your hands shoulder distance apart, which is usually a little bit wider than your knees being hip distance. Wrap your elbow pits forward, relax your belly so your tailbone's in the air, and rhomboid push-ups here. Up and down. Down is just with gravity, you're not doing much work. And lift up through the armpits, feel the upper back get wide. Keep on working those thumbs out to the side. So what will happen is you'll lose one or the other. Either the elbow pits will stay forward, but the thumbs will curl in, or the thumbs will stay out, but the elbow pits turn in. So you're kind of working with that team together, trying to keep the thumbs out and the elbow pits in as you go up and down. And then next time you go to the up position, try to hold the up position, ground through your feet, and do a couple head ramps here. So your face goes towards the floor, and then the back of your head goes to the ceiling, but without sinking into the bottom of the rhomboid push-up. Keep the lift. And if you're not sure of what the head ramping looks like from all four, just look up at the camera for a moment. Breathing here. You're not tilting your head to look forward. You're still looking straight down at the floor. Now, when it comes to a tricep push-up, before we do one, let's come down to our forearms. Flip your palms up, tuck your toes under, and go forward and back a few times. Wrapping your thumbs to the floor, keeping your ankle steady, relaxing, clenching around the hips, especially deep in the front of the hip if possible. Okay, coming back onto all fours. From all fours, a tricep push-up includes both keeping the top of the rhomboid push-up and keeping the head ramped. So what happens a lot, if you want to look, is as people bend their elbows, their chest drops down. That's what we don't want. We want to keep the lift of the rhomboid push-up as we bend our elbows. Two is that as we bend our elbows, not only does our chest drop down, but our head drops down. So we want to keep the lift of the rhomboid push-up, the ramping of our head as we bend our elbows and straighten. Now, if you're really new to this, you're pretty much solely paying attention to are my elbows going out to the side. And you're trying to keep your elbows wrapping in so they point straight back. But after you get that really good, top of the rhomboid push-up, ramping the head as you bend the elbows and press up. And your hips stay steady. They're not going back. It's just your elbows bending to the floor. Keep lifting up through the rib cage. Keep ramping the back of the head. As you bend and straighten, press equally through the palms of the hands. Let's do a couple more like that. Elbows in first. And I always lose the ramping of my head a little bit. Good. And then from there, go ahead and stand up on your knees. Let's flip our hands over for just a second. Touch just your fingertips down as you pull your hands back. Then try to touch just your fingers down as you pull your hands back. Then try to touch maybe the palms of your hands down without force. And then let's just peel our fingers off and turn our hands around and put the back of our hands down for a moment. Maybe rotating your arm bones back and forth a little bit here. And then come on up. Step your right foot forward to the top of the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Push down to step up. So from the top of the mat, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance. Bring the backs of the hands together. Try to touch the thumbs. The fingers kind of weave. Drop them down as low as you can without them pulling apart. And then sit back into a chair squat and press up. And sit back, press up. You can look down and check the alignment of the feet. My heels, after all this time, still scoot in, and I will say that a lot of my private clients' heels scoot in too. So your feet are always a really good thing to check. All right, next time you squat down, fold over your legs. Keep your left foot forward, step your right leg way back. You can put a block underneath your hands or just work on your hands or your fingertips today, but wrap your elbow pits forward. And from here, we'll reach palm face down, our right arm up, and then left arm up. And thumb points up, right arm up, steady through the feet, and left arm up. And palm face up. Right arm up and left arm up. And then from there, lower that knee down, stand up in your low lunge, reach your left arm forward hand to your shoulder, elbow out to the side a little bit, pull back on that elbow, pubic bone forward, ribs relax down, head ramps back. It's amazing how those little things make a huge difference in what muscles we're using and not using. Curl that elbow in a little bit, pull back gently, breathing. Curl it in a little more, pull up and back gently like you're lifting your skin up. And then switch sides. Hand to the shoulder, elbow a little bit out to the side, gently pull back. Curl it in a little bit. Check your back foot. Are you using the center of the ball of your foot if your toes are tucked under, or the center of the top of your foot if you're on the top of your foot? Curl your elbow in a little bit more. And then release your hands down to the floor of the block. Steady through the feet. Lift that back knee up. Walk halfway around to the right, parallel your feet, back your weight up into your heels. Okay, we're gonna add lots of different things on. So one is, if this was what worked good for you, or if it already felt tight, stick with fist to fist with your elbows dropping forward. Or you can try, which we haven't done, gosh, I don't know if since we've started these online videos, reverse namaste, where you try to flip your fingers up and bring the palms of your hands together behind your back. But again, you're trying to slightly let your elbows go forward instead of pulling them back. So either variation. Since I haven't done my hands behind my back like this for a while, I'm actually going to do fists, but we'll do more of this in the weeks to come. So feel free to do reverse namaste or fists. Elbows forward, hinge forward just a little bit. Your feet are nice and wide. And now shift your hip side to side. You're not folding forward much. You can pay attention to neutral thigh bone rotation. Bring your hips to center. Fold a little bit more. Elbows drop forward, head ramps. Shift your hips side to side. Back to center. Rotate down a little bit more. Back your hips up. 2 straight legs. Hip shift to one side and the other side. Back to center. One more. Rotate down more. Back your hips up. Hip shift to the right. Hip shift to the left. Then go one more each side low. Breathing, elbows dropping forward. Bring your hips to center, rotate your pelvis, come up just a little. Hip shift to one side, then the other. Back to center, rotate the pelvis to come up a little bit more. Hip shift to one side, then the other, back to center, not straight up and down more, but almost. Lift a little higher. Hip shift to one side, then the other side, then back to center, and then come all the way up. Circle your arms out and up. Circle your arms as you rotate slow. You can practice neutral rotation with the edges of your feet straight, and then walk around to your left foot at the front of the mat, and then from there, lower that right knee down, slide your left knee back to meet your right knee. So, thumbs spread out, elbow pits wrap forward. The first thing with rhomboid push-ups is just, it's hard. People think their elbows are pointing back, but they go out to the side because we're so much stronger sometimes in internal rotation. So for you, it's just really keeping those elbows pointing straight back. But after you've done that for a while, think top of the rhomboid push-up, ramping the head as you bend and straighten. Breathing. Keep those elbow pits pointing back. Your hips aren't going back. Your chest is just going to the floor. And if your forearms or elbows are getting anywhere close to the floor, that means you're starting with your hands way up here. So back your hips up, or your hands up, so they're more under your shoulders or even under your chest. Ribs up, head ramps. Don't let them drop down. Breathing. Great thing to do to look in the mirror or have someone look at you while you're doing it. Let's do one more. And then press up, come onto your knees. Step your right foot forward, left foot forward to the top of the mat. Tuck your toes under, push down to step up. Okay, so this is where you might want a chair or you might want a wall. Space works too. We're just gonna go around the hips with balancing moves. So, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Hinge forward to your chair, any amount backing your hips up. Push down through one leg and let your other foot float up. So it's just hanging straight. It's not going back. It's not going out to the side. It's able to hang straight because you're pushing down so much through the standing leg. Back your hips up a little. You can work on neutral rotation of the standing leg thigh bone here. And breathing. Are your elbows always out here? Relax them down. Give your neck and some of those shoulder muscles a break. All right, switch. Outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance. You can rotate your standing leg thigh bone into neutral, straighten the leg all the way, push down through that outer hip, your other foot floats straight up, and try to just back your hips up. So essentially we're just doing a one leg forward fold and we're holding. Breathing. Much more challenging for me on this side. Especially in neutral rotation. It really hits the muscles that I need to wake up even more in my right leg. Okay, foot comes down, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Sit back into a chair pose, cross your right ankle over your left knee and sit your hips back. So first thing, does the knee want to go forward? Work on that first. A lot of times the hips want to go towards the standing leg, so can you push the hips towards the crossed over leg? And then watch your ankle. Does it just slip way over? Can you try to keep more of your ankle and the foot on your knee? And then what you can do is you can loosen your grip of the wall or the chair and see what happens. So when I let go, I'm pretty good about my knee not going forward, but my left hip, the leg I'm standing on, still goes a little to the left. So can I rotate and keep that hip solid as I let go of the chair to work on strengthening those muscles in alignment? Now, I could hold all day if my hip goes out to the side, but that's not the muscles I want to be using all the time. All right, switch. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. And please remember that's your foundation. All these adjustments up here don't make any sense if the feet aren't in their foundation alignment. So sit back, cross your opposite ankle over your knee. For you, it might be a matter of going back For some people, it's a matter of not leaning towards the standing leg. And then loosen your fingers as the first step. And then over time, see what happens when you let go. And this side is a lot harder for me. It's really hard for me to rotate that hip in. So I'm just going to use my fingers lightly and keep that alignment and keep working on it. Good. And then uncross. Okay. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through one hip. Bend your heel in towards your buttocks. Try to keep the weight back in the heel of the standing leg. And then from there, let's flex and point our ankle. Flex, point, relax your shoulders. Flex, point, flex, point. Check on your ribs. Check on your head ramping back. Release that foot. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down into the opposite hip, hug it in if needs be. Bend that knee, back your weight up into your heel, ribs down, head slides back. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Lower that foot down. Okay, last but not least for balancing. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through your outer right hip. Left knee lifts up, opens out to the side. Any cracking or popping, better to keep the knee lower. So don't lift so high. Keep the knee a little lower. Extend, bend, extend, bend, extend, bend. You can have your hands on the chair or a wall. Extend, bend. Bring that knee forward, lower down, feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down through the outer left hip, hug it in. Right knee goes up, opens out to the side. Again, clicking or popping, drop the knee down a little bit. Extend, bend, extend, bend. Weight in the heel of the standing leg. Extend, bend, extend, bend. Bring that foot back, lower the foot down. Hands on the wall, hands on the back of the chair. Walk back, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Breathing here. And then just fold down, crawl down, come all the way onto your back. From your back for a moment. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Center your hips, rock a little side to side softly. And then you can either stay in this variation and even wrap a strap around your thigh so your shoulders can relax and your tailbone can stay into neutral, or slide your right thigh over your left thigh. Lift your legs up, curl your knees in. In this case, you're going to tuck your pelvis under for today. That's okay. It's not that, again, where there's no bad movements in the body. Try to split your feet and maybe reach for your ankles and lift them up so they're in line with your knees. And then even here, my elbows want to go out to the side. Can you drop your elbows down a little bit? Can you square your hips? And we'll do more of this to come. Uncross. Sometimes I forget moves that I used to do all the time. So the body's so varied and great. So it's so fun to discover, like, oh, we haven't done this in a while. Just roll your hips side to side here. With your left ankle crossed over your right knee. Okay, you can wrap a strap around your right thigh and stick with this variation, or you can cross your left thigh over, bring your legs up. So there's lots of things happening here. One is you can reach for your ankles, but do your feet drop way down? Just for today, can you lift up a little bit? Do your hips twist into one way or the other? Can you square your hips? So my left hip is hiking up by my left waist. So you're trying to square your hips so your waist is about the same length. And then if your elbows pop out a little bit, let them relax down. Tuning into your breath. And then release. Bring the soles of the feet together, the knees open out to the side. Reach the arms overhead a little bit. Open and close your hands a few times. Squeeze a gentle, tight fist. And open. Relax any clenching around the buttocks muscles. And then as your arms sweep down by your side, give your knees a little hug in and extend your legs nice and long. Flip your palms up for your final pose, Savasana. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently closed. Become very present with your body and with your breath. Stay present with your body and your breath. I really love this quote. I think it speaks to what we do here, which is we become more and more in tune with our bodies, and anything you become more in tune with, it becomes more beautiful, more wondrous, more miraculous. And I think that's what we're doing with our bodies over time. We're discovering how much they want to work for us, and we're learning how to take care of them in a better way. And it's a patient process, but it really does start to happen. So this quote is by the Zen monk Thich Nhat Hanh. I like to walk on country paths, rice plants and wild grasses on both sides, putting each foot down on the earth in mindfulness, knowing that I walk on the wondrous earth. In such moments, existence is a miraculous and mysterious reality. People usually consider walking on water or thin air a miracle, but I think the real miracle is to walk on earth, a miracle we don't even recognize. If you're ready to start moving, feel free to move your body in any way that pleases you. It's a great day to stay a little bit longer in Savasana, so just stay. But if you're ready, roll to one side, take a breath, and on your side, give more emphasis to that exhale, allowing your body to have more oxygen, allowing your parasympathetic nervous system to be triggered. Lengthen the exhale just a second or two. And then with ease, press yourself up, sitting in any comfortable seated position, bringing your hands together at heart center. In gratitude for all the miracles of this life, movement and walking are definitely a couple of them. In gratitude for this day. Namaste.